What's up, everyone? Detroit's feeling different this year. Every week, we can feel a shift, like this team is carrying more than just talent. It's carrying the soul of the city. And I'll tell you, there are things happening on and off the field that'll get any fan fired up. Stick with me because the last bit of news is going to rock everyone's world. If you live and breathe this one pride mentality, go ahead and subscribe right now. Smash that like button, it really helps build this community. And drop a comment, I want to hear from you too, because the Lion's Den is built on this kind of back and forth. Every opinion counts. So let's get into it, because we've got some hot news coming right up. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. When you see the list of absences from Thursday's practice, your heart just sinks. Marcus Davenport was out, Taylor Decker wasn't there, and Jack Campbell was a no-show. We know how it is. The fans immediately start doing the math, figuring out who's going to step in, who's going to hold down the fort, and who needs to step up. And against the Baltimore Ravens, my friend, there's no margin for error. Lamar Jackson is one of those guys who can turn any routine play into a career highlight. Davenport, in particular, is a major concern. The guy barely got through the Bears game without feeling his ankle and shoulder. He left, came back, and then left again. Now he's getting more tests. And Dan Campbell made it clear. We won't know until the end of the week. And Campbell doesn't sugarcoat things, right? When he says he's waiting on the doctors, it means the situation isn't simple. The good news is seeing Christian Mahogany practicing. This kid has grit, he has power, and he's already showing he can be an important piece. But let's be fair, he's still learning the weight of the NFL. Nobody wants to throw a rookie into the fire against a defense that goes full throttle all the time. And the Ravens, well, they're known for being disciplined, tough, and well-coached. John Harbaugh doesn't give anything away easy. The ghost of 2023 is also looming. Who remembers that 38-6 back in October? It was brutal. I remember it felt like we were back in the years of suffering. But as Campbell said on the radio, we're a different team today. Better on the perimeter, more battle-tested, more aware of what to expect in Baltimore. And that matters because a lot of these guys have already felt what it's like to face the Ravens. It's not just about watching film, it's about having been on the field against them. And I'll tell you, the mood is one of challenge, not fear. When I see veterans like Dan Skipper stepping up, even coming from the practice squad, I feel like we have guys willing to give everything. That's the grit of Detroit. No stat can translate it. But without Davenport, stopping Lamar is like trying to hold the wind in your hands. We can't just depend on Hutchinson, it has to be a collective effort. So the tension is there. Who will step up on defense if Davenport isn't ready? Can Mahogany handle the pressure? Will the group show up? Because this game could be that turning point we wait for every season. And I'll tell you what, if Detroit holds their own against the Ravens on the road, the whole NFL is going to look at us differently. But hold on, because the next topic involves a big name popping up in the offensive conversation, and it could change the look of this team even more. I gotta tell you, hearing Jared Goff praise Isaac Tesla made me smile like a kid on draft day. Because honestly, it's not every day you see a rookie earn so much respect so fast. The guy was a fan. He was in the stands at the NFC Championship 2 years ago. And now he's there, in uniform, catching passes at Ford Field. That's Detroit. It's a story written with grit. Goff didn't hold back. He said the kid does everything right. He's smart, tough, and has incredible hands. Or rather, an incredible hand. Joking about those two insane one-handed catches. That touchdown against the Packers in Week 1 was enough to make any fan nearly fall off their couch. I almost went with them. And you know what gets me? He doesn't seem like just another highlight of the season. Goff spoke with conviction. The sky's the limit for that kid. And when your quarterback talks like that, it's not just for the media. It's because he really trusts him. Tesla came from Hillsdale, went through Arkansas. No one was betting on him that much. But practice showed it. And now the game is confirming it. On the other side, Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to be that engine that never stops. Last week against the Bears, he had 9 receptions, 115 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 3. The guy even had time to mess with the crowd in his celebration, faking an injury before falling to the ground. That's a lot of personality, but behind the show is discipline. Goff made it clear. No one blocks like him, no one runs routes like him, and no one gives it their all in practice like him. And I believe it. And look, the connection between those two and Goff is a joy to watch. St. Brown is already elite, Tesla is climbing one step at a time, and together they balance experience with the future. It almost seems like a pre-written script, but it's not. It's sweat, it's talent, it's Detroit molding its own heroes. For me, the most special thing is seeing this team value the local roots. Tesla is from Michigan, grew up dreaming of playing here, and now he wears that jersey. It has symbolic weight, and the fans feel it. He's not just a player, he's one of us. It's the one pride spirit turning into flesh and blood on the field. But let's not get too carried away. It's just the beginning. The kid still needs to prove himself against tough defenses, against division rivals who know every detail of our offense. But with St. Brown opening up space, his life gets a lot easier. So the truth is this: today we have two elite weapons, one already established, the other on the rise. And if this offense keeps this up, it could be the most fun season we've seen in years. Hold on tight, because the next piece of news has to do with the defense, market rumors, and a huge name circling Detroit. Look, I'm going to be direct. When the name Kayvon Thibodeau starts popping up linked to the Detroit Lions, we pay attention. He's not just any defender. It's not just any rumor. We're talking about a top 5 draft pick, a young guy full of fire who has already shown he can wreck offenses by himself. And now there are analysts saying we could be one of his destinations. You know what that means? It means Detroit is in the big conversation. Bleacher Report threw this out there. The Giants are struggling 0-2 and maybe thinking about trading an expensive piece for a draft pick. Thibodeau would be a gold coin. And of course, the Lions' name comes up because our defensive line is a major focus. Did it look good against the Bears? It did. 4 sacks, 4 different players pressuring Caleb Williams. But then there's the reality. Davenport is hurt, Hutchinson can't carry everything alone, and you can never have enough depth. Just imagine, Hutchinson on one side and Thibodeau on the other. I can almost see the opposing quarterback already sweating in the huddle. That changes the level of any defense. But hold on, it's not that simple. To start, the Giants picked up his 5th-year option, so there's no desperation to sell. Second, the price would be steep. They're talking about a 2026 second-round pick. Is it worth it? Look, for a team that dreams of a Super Bowl, it might be worth every penny. Dan Campbell, of course, isn't going to say anything direct. He's already said he trusts the current rotation, talked about Wheat, Muhammad, that he believes in the group. But let's be honest, every fan knows that when the market opens a door, you at least have to look. And if Davenport is out longer, the pressure increases. The front office can't pretend they didn't see it. There's also the recent memory. In the offseason, they already linked our name to Trey Hendrickson and other pass rushers. Where there's smoke, well, you know, and the rumors are only going to grow. The fan base is already divided. Some think it's a luxury, others think it's a necessity. Me, I say that if we want to be remembered as a true contender, we need to have heavy hitters in every position. Thibodeau is young, has 22 career sacks, 28 tackles for loss, 6 forced fumbles. That's serious production. But it also comes with a risk. Does he fit into Campbell's system? Is it worth paying a high price for someone who hasn't yet become the monster expected since the draft? That's the question. What you can't do is pretend the issue doesn't exist. Because if the Giants front office picks up the phone, Holmes has to at least answer. And if that move happens, my friends, Ford Field is going to shake with anticipation. But hold your excitement, because the next piece of news isn't a rumor, it's reality, and it involves one of our Warriors returning from a serious injury. I'm telling you, seeing Aleem McNeil in the final stages of his recovery is the kind of news that makes your chest swell with pride. Because it's not just about a player returning, it's about a guy who carries the spirit of this defense. McNeil is saying that if he had to, he'd play right now. But he's holding back, working on those last 6 or 7% to come back even stronger than he was before the ligament injury. That's maturity, that's focus. And it's not easy. He even said it himself. In the opening game against the Packers, he was at home, watching the defense get beaten up in the first half, and he felt that pain of not being able to help. He said he started doing push-ups in the middle of the game. That's how desperate he was to be with the team. Who hasn't felt that as a fan, right? Multiply that by 1,000, because he's the guy who should have been on the field. The front office had already lost Levi Onwuzurike for the entire season, and even so, Brad Holmes showed confidence. He brought in DJ Reader, drafted Tyleik Williams, and got Roy Lopez. He said he believed in this group, and I'll tell you, Lopez has already handled business on the field. Against the Bears, he played nearly half the snaps, battling inside, showing that strength of a former wrestler. Campbell even highlighted his torque and leverage. That's a detail only a coach who lives on the practice field appreciates. But none of those names erase McNeil's importance. He's more than a stat. He's the anchor of the line. The team knows it, the fans know it. And if he really comes back earlier than expected, it changes the face of the defense. Because stopping the run and holding pressure up the middle opens up space for our edge rushers to shine. And that could be what Detroit needs to become an elite defense, not just a competent one. The schedule also carries weight. After the Bengals in Week 5, he might be ready. And getting into a rhythm at the right time could mean being fully prepared for the games that truly define a season. I confess, I'm counting the days to see number 54 bulldozing people again. It's that kind of story that moves you because it shows that this team isn't just about a beautiful offense. It's about resilience, about guys who get knocked down and get back up. It's about a city that never gives up. When McNeil says he's coming back better than before, it gives me chills because it feels like he's talking about us, the Detroit fans, who have always believed even when it seemed impossible. So remember this, his return could be the quiet turnaround that no one is seeing yet. And in the conclusion, I'm going to put all of this together, the absences, the stars, the rumors, and the recovery, to show why this team gets to us so much. You know what all this shows? That being a Lions fan is never just about wins. It's about holding your breath when Davenport is out. It's about smiling, seeing Tesla become a reality. It's about dreaming of a huge name like Thibodeau. And it's about getting chills with McNeil ready to return. This team tests us, it moves us, and it reminds us that Detroit never gives up. I'll take a risk and say, we're looking at the most dangerous version of the Lions in decades. Comment below. This space belongs to everyone who lives and breathes one pride. And don't miss out. The next conversation is going to be fire.